Hello and welcome back to Big Brothers Big Sisters. We're so excited to officially welcome you back and talk a little bit about our new hybrid program. We hope to provide you, our incredible bigs, with the tools, resources, guidance, and support that you need in order to continue being a great big to your little. We're focused on this because, quite simply, we think mentoring is more important now than ever before. With so much happening in the world around us, while so much is changing in our daily lives, mentors, you, can serve an invaluable role in the life of your little. By providing consistency, support, care, and guidance, you can continue to defend potential. Before we start, we want to take a moment to simply say thank you. Thank you for persisting in your mentoring relationship despite the changing circumstances. Thank you for remaining as a safe, stable, and positive force in your little's life during such a time of disruption. And thank you for choosing to play such an important role in our mission when so much around you is changing and challenging. We see you, we appreciate you, and we are here to help. We want to support you, not just to survive as a big during the COVID-19 pandemic, but to thrive as a big. In covering the following topics, we hope to help your mentoring relationship grow as you empower your little to reach their highest potential, no matter the circumstances. So today we'll talk a little bit about the basics of our hybrid mentoring program, your role as a returning big, expectations as a returning big, ways to connect virtually. We'll talk about relationship building on a virtual platform, some texting tips, and some internet safety material. Our new hybrid program is designed for matches who already know each other and have that existing relationship. Some important things to note are that matches should connect once a week, either in person or virtually, to maintain consistency. Matches are permitted but not obligated to meet in person. Matches must be prepared to go 100% virtual if necessary. And as always, your match support specialist is here to help make this all work. Your role as a big hasn't changed. However, there are a few ideas we'd like to remind you of. Be mindful. Remember, youth may have already experienced trauma and developed some skills to help them process the COVID-19 circumstances and other events in their lives. Everyone reacts to trauma differently. Some children may cling to others for support, while some may be more distant. Children are unique, but all children need consistency and reassurance. As they're big, you are part of their support system and can help them navigate the ups and downs of these uncertain times. Be mindful of the strengths your little already has and of your own mindset and the skill set that you can share with them. Be intentional. Children are experiencing feelings of anxiety and uncertainty. It's essential that your little knows that you will continue to provide a positive and thriving relationship. You can be a primary source of stability right now for your little, so continue to plan and schedule those visits, virtual and in person. Give your little something positive to look forward to, and find ways to teach your little how to be resilient and positive during these times. Be in it together. Let your little know that you are in this with them and are here to help. Your little might be feeling alone, anxious, or traumatized by what's going on in the world today. It's important that you are available to talk to your little if they want to talk. Remind them that they are not alone. Some ways to show your little that you're here for them are: ask your little and their family how they're doing. Listen and be compassionate. Check in with the parent occasionally, not just your little. And work with your match support specialist to get any resources to help support your little that you may need. Lastly, be communicative. Communication is vital in developing a healthy and supportive relationship with your little, especially now. You can have warm and meaningful conversations even when you can't see them in person by connecting through FaceTime and other video-based platforms. Phone calls, texting, and of course, children love receiving mail. When you speak with them, practice active listening, express genuine interest, assure them that they are being heard, provide your full attention. Be empathetic, patient, and open-minded. Be the one to initiate phone calls or contacts, and remember, because the parent may be the only one with a phone or device, it's necessary to communicate with them to make this work. So here's what we expect from our returning bigs. A commitment to meeting either in person or virtually every week regardless of the pandemic situation, and being just as reliable with virtual meetings as with in-person meetings. A 1-year commitment from the date of your reintroduction meeting, In-person meetings with your little that last between 1 and 2 hours, and if you meet virtually with your little, these should be between 30 minutes and 1 hour. Bigs and families may choose to be in fully virtual relationships if they don't feel safe meeting in person, but all returning bigs and families will be oriented to our COVID-19 safety rules and will be permitted to meet in person if they choose. Bigs and families must stay in communication with our agency regularly to ensure that every match complies with changing state laws. Bigs and families must follow all general rules for the BBBS program, as well as the following COVID-19 related safety policies. Here are our safety policies for in-person meetings. 1. Matches may not meet in person if any party feels unwell. Each person in the match needs to assess their health using the BBBS wellness screen before each outing. 2. Matches are required to wear masks 100% of the time inside, including in cars. 3. Matches are required to wear masks outside when 6 feet of physical distancing is not possible. 4. Matches should not come into physical contact with each other and should maintain 6 feet of distance. 5. Matches should choose outdoor activities as much as possible. These activities may not include contact sports. 6. Matches should avoid crowds and activities where physical distancing is not possible. 7. Matches may not leave Tompkins County. 8. Matches are not permitted to eat or drink inside of restaurants. 9. Bigs may not bring their little to any college campus. 10. Bigs may not spend match meetings inside their little's home. They're advised to not enter the home, but rather meet the child outside. 11. Bigs and families must disclose out-of-state travel immediately to our program. Any big or family who travels to a state on the New York State quarantine list must switch to virtual meetings upon their return for 14 days. 12. Any big or family who contracts COVID-19 or comes into direct contact with someone who has tested positive must disclose that information to BBBS immediately and suspend all in-person visits. The little may visit the big's home only if masks and physical distancing guidelines are followed. The visits are no more than twice per month and no more than 2 hours in length. The match has a specific planned activity for the meeting. Time is spent outside as much as possible, and the volunteer chooses 1 or 2 common spaces to spend time in. Other members of the volunteer's household are healthy and following COVID protocols for masks and physical distancing, and match support has determined that the volunteer understands our COVID policies. Matches must follow the following rules regarding car travel. Masks must be worn in the car. When possible, keep the windows open. Littles should ride in the back seat of the car regardless of age. Make car trips as short as possible. Bigs should wipe down interior car surfaces before and after match outings. Only the big and little are permitted in the car. By learning more about virtual platforms, you'll be able to figure out which one to suggest to your little and their caregiver. Here are a few that we consider to be potentially good options for you and your little. We encourage real-time video chatting using platforms such as Zoom, FaceTime, and Google Duo. However, you may also use text messages or try out Messenger Kids. Some other fun ones to try out include Marco Polo and, of course, any safe 2-player game apps. Ask your match support specialist if you need help with any of these platforms. Virtual mentoring on a video-based platform can be difficult for a variety of reasons, including feeling like there's a lack of in-person connection, issues with technology, and problems engaging your little in conversation. However, research conducted by the National Mentoring Center offers a few potential solutions. First, keep your weekly video-based meetings as consistent and predictable as possible, while also being available for quick messages throughout the week. Secondly, it can be fun and engaging for youth to explore the various features of your chosen video platform. Thirdly, try to make your video sessions center on the youth and on task-oriented activities. Finally, please check in with our staff often for new ideas for activities and conversation starters. We'll be learning right alongside you and will offer as many ideas as possible. Research suggests that many youth thrive in virtual relationships. However, there is no doubt that maintaining that sense of personal connection can be challenging. The following tips can help you maintain a feeling of friendship and connection. As mentioned previously, the consistency of your video-based meetings is a key factor in relationship building, just like it is with in-person meetings. However, since your virtual meetings are likely to be shorter than in-person meetings, and since you and your little will now be more connected through the phone and computer, being available to send and receive quick messages throughout the week can be a great way to enhance your relationship. When setting up your virtual session, try to choose a distraction-free environment and encourage your little to do the same when possible. Close other browser windows on your device. Choose a location where people won't interrupt you and give the child your full attention. Make a conscious effort to use your eyes, your smile, and your tone of voice to express positivity and energy during video sessions, even if the child isn't doing the same thing. Lastly, have realistic expectations regarding how expressive your little will be during these sessions. Even if their comments are short and they seem distracted, try your best to carry on. Although technology can be a stumbling block at times, that same technology often has features that can be fun and enhance the activities and conversations that you have together. Using the chat features on your platform can be very useful and add another dimension to the video session. This feature can allow a child to process their thoughts and express something that they may not know how to quickly say. Children also like to play with the features such as virtual backgrounds, photos, emoticons, and other aspects of virtual platforms. Exploring these together can make the session more fun for both of you. When sending or receiving the occasional text-based communication during the week, the simple act of using emojis can allow you to express feelings to your little and helps them feel more connected to you. In order to help your little know that they are being heard and understood, it is important to respond to any text or chat messages as soon as you can so they don't feel ignored. Much like during your in-person meetings, the conversation you have over virtual platforms should be as youth-centered as possible. Asking simple questions about the child's day can give them a prompt that could help open them up. Asking questions that are open-ended can help to promote more lengthy, substantive answers. Sharing relevant, brief stories about yourself will show your little that you are listening to them and may foster feelings of connection. Using icebreaker-style games can be a great way to kickstart a virtual conversation. These may include conversation prompts such as, "What would we do with $1,000,000?" A fun prompt can make facilitating a conversation with your little much easier, and using prompts that ask littles to think about their own thoughts and opinions is a great way to center the discussion on the youth. Keeping a meeting task-oriented can definitely be helpful, especially for littles who have shown that pure conversation may not be their favorite thing. Having a tangible activity with an observable outcome or a finished product can be very motivating for many littles. Task-oriented activities could be accomplished in one session or as a longer project over many weeks or months. They will allow you both something to focus on and often facilitate conversation along the way. You could help the child with something that they must do, such as a school project, or you could do something you both enjoy, such as building, baking, or doing an art project. Working with BBBS staff, you can plan a number of activities of this nature, but don't forget to ask for your little's ideas along the way. Even when you have done some planning, remember that it's important to be flexible and open if your little has something else in mind for the day or wants to talk about something specific. If you need to get some supplies or materials in the child's hand for a virtual activity, work with us to do so. The reality is that text-based communication can lead to very strong relationships in mentoring contexts. The keys are to do it consistently, so your little knows you're reliable. Do it with intentionality of thought and language because there are no nonverbal cues to be read, and to maximize the volume of sharing and expression because littles may be feeling more isolated than ever. If phone calls and video chat are not available, and even if they are, the principles outlined here can maximize text-based interactions and keep bigs and littles engaged and building trust and closeness with one another. According to a study conducted by Mentor.org, mentors who were successful with text-based communication shared these common factors in their communication habits. Mentors avoided closed-ended questions that could easily be a conversation killer when responded with a short response by their little. Mentors used emojis, GIFs, memes, and other digital flourishes to convey emotions, make their messages more visually appealing, explain complex nuances, and to inject some humor into the interactions. Mentors used appropriate self-disclosure to let mentees know they understood their perspectives, sometimes sharing a personal experience that lets the mentee know you understand their feelings and concerns can go a long way towards building trust and opening up more dialogue. Mentors avoided language that could be easily misunderstood. Conversation tools such as sarcasm and irony may seem appropriate in a crisis, but these types of communication are much more clearly understood in person. Successful text-based matches tended to avoid using language that could be misinterpreted. They were especially clear to label things such as dry humor and sarcasm as a joke so that there was no ambiguity about intent. Successful matches addressed misunderstandings in their conversations when they did occur. If two people communicate via text long enough, it's extremely likely that one participant will take issue with the tone, content, or meaning of a message. What's critical is that participants talk it through and clear up any misconceptions that may linger into future interactions. Internet safety is a broad topic and would be difficult to cover in such a short amount of time. We will be providing you with additional resources for internet safety. Children's access to the internet has greatly increased in the last 5 years. This may be good for educational purposes, as we're currently witnessing, but it also increases the potential for children to be exposed to concerning content such as violence, cyberbullying, and strangers with bad intentions. So how do you, as a big, help to keep your little safe virtually? Encourage your little's use of safe, parent-approved apps, virtual games, and media platforms. Your match support specialist will provide you with parent-approved forms of communication for your little. Please be respectful of those boundaries. Explore applications your little mentions using. A little might mention virtual media you are unfamiliar with. Take some time to explore the apps and games your little is using. Look for pop-ups that may be inappropriate or lead to malware. When applicable, listen to the speech of other users and see if the app safeguards against contact from other people the child may not know. Communicate with your little's parent and your match support specialist. If your little suggests a form of communication that hasn't been approved by both the parent and your match support specialist, don't make promises. Let your little know that you'll look into their suggestion. Once you have explored the app yourself and deem it appropriate, send the information to your little's parent and your match support specialist for a review. When everyone is in agreement, you can move forward with communication on the new app or platform. Again, remember to be respectful of the boundaries set by your little's parents and your match support specialist as safeguards. The virtual world is an amazing tool that keeps us all connected. Let's help our littles use it wisely, communicate the importance of guarding their personal information, and partnering with parents to develop good, safe digital citizens. We've covered a lot in this orientation. We just want to take a moment to remind you of some of the key points that were discussed. Remember, you already know how to be an exceptional big, and that role hasn't changed. Consider these some of the through lines of the training and some important reminders as you continue your journey as a big throughout the course of this pandemic and beyond. Be trustworthy, be empathetic, be authentic, be patient, maintain communication, be consistent and dependable, and of course, don't forget we're here to help. Again, we want to thank you for being committed to our mission and for inspiring, empowering, and defending potential. We're so glad you're back.